welcome back to the Real Missing Piece podcast. And yes, I said back because you should know us and love us. And if you are just coming for the first time, then guess what? You're going to come watch this again, listen to this again, and you're going to go listen to our other ones and you're going to love us. And that's just what it is. So we're coming with a little bit of different energy because on the day we were talking this week, we're talking about obedience in the yes. We literally found, because Cheryl looks at her Facebook memories and she reshared 2 years ago on this very day, September 10th, 2023, we were at a Sunday service that ruined us for God, and we are ready to ruin you for God as well. So welcome to the fun at the Real Missing Piece.
Welcome. And I was Candace, but she always has kind of scared me. And I don't know if she knows that, but I'm excited to be here and talk about like yes and the rippling effects of yes, because like we didn't know, but he knew. So like were there yeses in your life, no matter the size of the yes? It could be the smallest, tiniest yes to saying yes. Like Candace was talking about, yes to your daughter going to get go to the Dollar Tree to get a present, and or as big as, not even that big, as ruining my son's football career at age 12, saying no. That was a no, but saying
Saying
I
yes
could
to
have said
saying
yes.
no is
So
what you did, actually.
yeah, yes, but I'm excited to celebrate our 2 year anniversary because the 2 years hasn't felt like 2 years. And I look back at those pictures because it also came with pictures. That's the day we went to Santa Monica and we took pictures and we went on the carousel, and a lot of things
Oh
happened
my
for you on that day too. I told her, I was like, we wouldn't have even met each other if we didn't say yes to our business, which in hindsight, like that was such, to me, it wasn't a big thing because it was like, okay, I'll just do it. But I didn't know what it was going to bring. So we want you to think about that moment as we talk right now, about that moment where you said yes when you didn't think it was going to be so big. But what impact has it made in your life today? So,
Oh my God, we can go so many places with this. Like the yes to the business,
yeah.
it was a network marketing business. If you're new here, if you're not new here, we love you. Thanks for listening to us repeat our stories. But it was to me and Cheryl, and we found out like later through our connection and our relationship, it was not the first network marketing yes for either one of us. And in that moment, it was a very hard yes for me to say on the business side. It was easy to say it on the discount. That was what I thought I was saying yes to when I first started saying it. But then God spoke to me as I was walking to my mailbox before I hit join now. And he said, "This is bigger than you." That was the message I got. This is bigger than you. And then I let curiosity take over instead of doubt, fear, and worry. And so what I was thinking about while Cheryl was having to restart her computer and we were praying for technology was you, the listener, seeing this video or listening to this podcast. What are you sitting there doubting about yourself? You're probably doubting your ability. You're probably just thinking about all the things that you're lacking. And you're probably like worrying, like, well, what if, in the wrong direction? But if God is calling you to something, and you might not even know it's him, to be honest, I didn't know that he was calling me to that business and it was him calling me to the business until I heard that this is bigger than you. And I was like, well, that didn't come from me. Where did that come from? God? Okay. It's bigger than me. And I couldn't even imagine how much bigger it was, because in the time, even when I thought I knew where he was sending me, I thought it was like, oh, you're going to help all these people with their confidence because they're going to use these products and they're going to improve X, Y, and Z, and they're going to love this. And oh, you're going to help these other people with the business to be able to earn money from home. Guess what, you guys? All those yeses led us to this podcast, this episode, led me to that church service 2 years ago when he was calling me. Then he was calling me to share my faith boldly. And I was a little hesitant and I was doubtful and I was worried. I was like, little old me, I haven't even read the Bible. And then that service happened. And then Cheryl was sitting beside me and she was thinking, which I didn't know, if someone goes to the altar, I'm going to the altar. But if I didn't go, neither one of us could be sitting here right now.
Yeah. And talking to you guys about this from this filter of like, goodness. And when you said, "Here I am, send me," we're doing Living in His Yes this month of September 2025. And we're talking about obedience in His yes this week. And if you aren't part of that, if you're listening to this way in the future, I don't know if it'll be available, but if you're listening to it now, it's you text yes to
No,
805
850.
8885. Oh my God, 850. 850 and you'll be part of this text message thread. But on day 9, it was Isaiah 6:8, and it says, "Here I am, send me." That's like the short version. You can look up the longer version. But God isn't looking for the most polished or qualified. He looks for the willing. Obedience begins with availability, not ability. And that was game changing. But Isaiah's yes wasn't rooted in perfection, but in surrender. And God used it to impact a nation. When we say, "Here I am," we open the door for heaven's assignments to flow through our lives. And that's so
Mm.
good. And I remember 2 years ago, I feel like that whole time you were like whispering my ear. You're like, oh my God, like having all these revelations. And I'm like, what is happening right now? But okay, I'm here for it. But sometime during the sermon, I don't even know if he said the word surrender or just give it to God, or I don't know the
Yes, you
words
did.
that he said, but even in that song, he won't, and like he have a firm foundation, he won't fail. And I'm trying to remember what I was going through in my life, but I needed to hear that message in that. And I don't think it was
Just from
necessarily
our
for my
conversations, I
business.
think it was your family because you had said it shouldn't be this hard. And you guys had started getting back into church right before that, trying to get back
Okay.
in a relationship. So when we went to lunch later, you were talking a little bit about how you were just exploring churches, which up until recently at that time, you didn't even know was an option.
Yeah.
But I was thinking I
Okay.
wasn't even in a storm, and that sermon was talking about storms come to show us that, to remind us that every storm has its purpose, basically, is what it was saying. Like, don't give
Yes.
up the ship. And there's a whole nother story on that on another podcast. Don't give up the ship. And he was talking about storms come to remind us he's in control, to give him control. That's what you heard, like the surrender part. And I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, I'm not even in a storm. Who is this for? And I was a coach at the time, and I was like, well, maybe it's for someone I'm coaching. But then I was ruined with the whole share your faith boldly part. Maybe it was the storms that would be coming because we know that when God is bringing us to stuff, he uses refinement. He uses those storms to refine us, and he was prepping me
Yeah.
for the storm that I didn't even storms. I don't even know what's coming.
Yeah. And it could be a preparation to what's to come in the future. And we don't know like necessarily what's to come, but when we are in those storms, we realize we're so thankful that we went through this before, even though I wasn't technically in a storm. Now I get to use that. And we're talking I was talking to a sermon. I was listening to a sermon
I
because
mean,
I
I'm
know,
talking to
like,
sermons
you
all the
talk to
time,
them.
but I don't know about you.
But he was talking about using Moses's staff in because he was a shepherd, right? So Moses used his staff to shepherd his sheep, but God wanted him for a higher purpose to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. And he's like using that staff for something else now. And God in that sermon too, I'll share it in the group, but he's talking about how when God like it's Moses wasn't afraid of God's like ability to do things. Moses was afraid of his ability to do things. So when he wanted to say yes to God in those moments, he was like, but they who not, but he wasn't saying like God, you're not enough, because he knew God was enough. But he was like, am I enough to give this message to the Pharaoh? And God was like, go, go. And he's like, okay, yes. So like his yes led to bringing people out of
Generations is
yeah,
still doing it because your son is
generation,
learning.
impacting a nation.
Your son's still learning about him.
So I'm getting
Me.
goosebumps. Him saying that yes and going and taking the faithful action led to this impact. And I've always like when I joined network marketing, I was in a place of like, I want to impact people. I want to impact the world. I've always like grew up wanting to like help people. That's why I was in politics, and I was like, I'm going to help the community. And I feel like I went to the top of that by like doing that in a community that we were in before. And I'm like, meh, it's like, that's not the impact that I was made for. And so now, like, re looking at what impact do I want to make? Even we were part of Team Braving Impact. Like, making impact wherever we are is where we get to do what we get to do.
Mhm.
But, like, going back to Moses, he had his staff. And in the sermon, he says, but God used that staff. So use the skills, use the things that he used for so many years, for 40 years in the desert, to use it as a serpent, to use it as different things, use it for that. He transformed his staff. And that can mean so many things in so many ways right now. But him saying yes helped him transform into something that he didn't even know his staff could do. Like, you wouldn't even think a staff could
Be a serpent.
turn
I
into a
know.
serpent.
Well, and I wouldn't think my yes to shampoo would be leading me to sharing my faith, which led me to coaching, led me to sharing my faith, led me to building this community, led it to doing a podcast, multiple. Is like in those moments, that's where I was kind of starting with the beginning of the call. You're thinking about your ability, and that is usually creating the doubt, the worry, the hesitancy in your obedience. But
Yeah.
God has already, okay, I took some notes, you guys. I'm going to talk about some of these things because God knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Number 1, he knew you. He knew everything about you. And he created you. He spoke you in, or like breathed you into existence in his image. In his image, and he breathed life into you. That means he planted seeds. There are treasures planted inside of you that if you're focused on what you think or the filter you're looking at, you see like your ability or inability, you are not fully seeing yourself as he sees you, as he knows you. And if he's calling you to it, that means he has put something in you somewhere that is going to start taking root and start sprouting out into this big, beautiful tree that can withstand any storm. You just have to say yes in your availability. You have to make yourself available, because the ability piece, once you realize that, you start realizing he's already gone before you. He's already ordered your steps. If you will give him your yes, if you will give him your heart, if you will get like lock hands with him, he's going to be the strength, the ability, whatever you don't think you have, he's going to take care of all of that for you. And that to me, it's just like so freeing, so free.
Yeah. And saying in personal development, people would say like yes to you. Say yes to you. But then like if you say yes to you, you can. And you get to a certain point, you're like, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Why
Like
do
I
we think
can't handle
burnout is
all
such
this.
a thing,
Yes
you
to me.
guys? Why is burnout so real?
Yeah. Because it is
Because it
real.
is
Because you're putting it
manufactured.
on
Yes.
yourself. Yes. And so like taking that yes to you a step further, because Moses had to say yes to himself first too. Because he had to get rid of that barrier and then say, okay, God, okay, okay. Maybe it's yes to God first, and yes, just send me. Like I'll go do it. And so just realizing when you just have you, it's not, it gets tiring. It gets burnt out. It gets all the things that you don't want to feel and you're not meant to feel, because God's got your back. That's another theme in our heads. And just being open to wherever it goes.
Yes.
I think that's another thing that's been a theme in my head of like, in personal development, they say, get your destination because then you won't know the map to get there. And then I'm like, I'm going to turn that upside down now or God's turned that upside down for me all the way around. I'm like, I don't necessarily like, the only destination is God. And wherever he takes me in that, okay, I'm ready. Let's
Like
go.
us yesterday, if you haven't
Yeah.
watched Walk with Jesus Wednesday from today, we were like, we had a conversation with ourselves after Bible study, and God took us backwards, upside down, flip side, kick side, front flips, and all the ways around. But it's all like now, doing that now, it feels like uncomfortable, but in a good, uncomfortable way. Like you said, like we know God is the destination. Like we don't have to worry because we know God now. Like we're coming to know him and we're hungry to know him more. And so it takes the pressure off of us. But in thinking about that, I wanted to share two of the songs that from 2 years ago today. It was the lyrics of these two songs that I didn't even realize the second song happened until about 30 minutes ago when we were at the other thing. But it's the song that I knew that I didn't record, but then Cheryl shared her story from her memory, and I was like, I bet I know I recorded music because I always do. Let me go see what I recorded. And funny enough, I recorded her song that we've talked about in a different somewhere, some space, that she was like, that song was like my song. So the first one, the lyrics that got me when God was calling me to share my faith boldly, because just a little backstory, I was like, I do share my faith. And then he said boldly, and I was like, maybe I don't do it so boldly. Maybe I only do it where I know it's welcome, right? So in the comfortable spaces. And the first song is More Than Able by Elevation Worship. And it says, who am I to deny what the Lord can do? When you're not available for relationship with him, you think you know what he can do, but you don't know what he can do. And the more you get to know him, the more you realize, well, everything I already said on this podcast episode. He's done it. He's gone before you. He ordered your steps. He will straighten your paths. He will help you when you cry out. Like all these things you come to know as you open yourself, make yourself available. Who am I to deny what the Lord can do? In that moment, I was like, he's calling me. My focus has been on myself, but why am I denying what he can do? He's a big God.
Yeah.
He can do everything because he did do everything. Everything you're looking at, he created it. And the next song was Firm Foundation, He Won't. And in the lyrics in that, which I took pictures of all of this, you guys, it was in my storage. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? Why would he fail with me? The thing he's calling me to do, why would he fail now? And then the next part, he won't twice. Right? Like it was such an eye opener in that moment. And it ruined me for good because I come out of that, you guys. I'm a blubbering mess. Well, I go to the altar. I'm a blubbering mess. I'm like, I'm going to this altar. And I am just like losing it. We found out this summer that one of our friends actually took a photo of us at the altar. And that to me is even better than the picture we were seeking when we asked for the photo. Because I thought it was me looking like a blubbering mess, which, oh, by the way, guess what? I did have a photo of myself looking like a blubbering mess in the lobby. But it was me, myself, who had the photo, not our friend. But I go out and I am uncontrollably sobbing, and everybody's like concerned, like, are you what happened? Like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, it's a good cry. I'm like, I have no idea where he's going, but I don't have to know. So this is your invitation to explore what has he been calling you to do, and has your focus been on your ability or inability or lack instead of can you shift your focus to him
and be available?
Yes.
Like the being available versus your abilities. Just being available for him to let you, or like recognizing that he's there in the room, that we can go to him. And I didn't know 2 years ago this is where I would be. I didn't even know where 2 years. I guess I could have a 2-year plan, but I didn't really have a 2-year plan. But just saying that, yes. So if you're contemplating, I guess, like don't even think about the ripple effects. You don't have to, but maybe reflect on ripple effects that you've had on a previous yes. Because I don't know.
Or maybe what did hearing our ripple effects of our few yeses we've mentioned on this call or this recording, what did that stir up inside of you when you heard it? Even if you can't think about your own ripple effects yet. Because God doesn't, if you don't know this about God, he doesn't have favorites. We are all in his kingdom, and the invitation is there for everyone. Everyone.
Yes. So I do want to invite people to our Real Missing Piece live event. And there's so much to that. Candace is coming to California and we're having a 2-day event. And now it is available in person and virtual. And it's going to be so good. So keep in touch with us. Go to our links available here on YouTube or wherever you're watching us. And if you have any questions, just reach out. And we do have an ambassadors collective if you want to go deeper and just be in the word, be with the talking back to sermons
All the things,
or doing whatever,
closing the
like
gap
everything.
between all the things
Closing.
you've been doing and that emptiness
Yes.
that you've still been feeling. Even if you are succeeding,
Yes.
you always feel like there's still like something there. We help you close the gap in this community.
Yes. Yes. We're just so excited for it to grow. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.